What's going on? What's going on? Happy Friday, Jackson. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing this Friday? I hope you got a good night's sleep. I hope you slept well. I, for one, been up since 2 o'clock this morning. Kind of woke up. You know what I'm saying? Even though my house is well, air conditioned, is still, I'm still finding it, hard to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I guess this heat. I don't know what it is, but I mean, all in all, I still get some good rest. You know what I'm saying? And but and I'm kind of working still. Like I said, I'm working with this bad scripting stuff, and man, it's coming together. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It's a lot of things you can do with this thing, man. I'm still so fascinated with this. And the fascination hadn't left yet. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for the fascination to leave. But it's just so much because you could take like all your files, and you could make one. You could make a program for it, and you could have that program. You could set it to where it can go into one folder. So every time when you make a file, right, you could set it to go into that folder. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. Because all you got to do is run the program. See what I'm saying? Because if it has that extension on it, .com, .org, or something like that, if you got with that extension, all you got to do is put that extension on it. Every time you make a file, you run that program, it's automatically gonna send it to the folder. I think that's so amazing, and it's so convenient, and it makes it so organized to where you don't have to do nothing. All you gotta do is press enter. You go onto the what's the name to the program. You know, man, just press enter, and it's gonna immediately put the file over to the folder. It's so convenient, so convenient. So, but anyway, but that's what makes it so fascinating to be able to do something so short in a short period, have something done like that in a short period of time. It saves you time. It saves you work with all that copy and pasting and all that stuff. Just write a program, and every time it'll go right over. It'll send it right over to it. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, but yeah, it's I stopped working with that. I've been hammering on that, and I'm gonna keep hammering on it. I'm gonna probably be on that thing for the next. Let's see, this is July. I'm gonna probably be hammering on that to like probably January, all the way to January. You know what I'm saying? Cause it didn't take me long at all for me to get my high school diploma. I was like, yeah, it's a cakewalk. You know what I'm saying? Because I started in August, and I was through. I was doing like in March. You know what I'm saying? Because it was so much I had to do. Because they started me from scratch, and man, shoot, from all the way from to the I think it was the ninth grade all the way up to the 12th grade. But I did it. I was due March 1st. On the 1st of March, that was my pop's birthday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my pops. He's deceased now. You know what I'm saying? But man, I'm telling you, man. That's what I'm gonna be doing with this gas, because, it's very valuable, very valuable. But anyway, how's everybody doing? It's Friday. It's the third. It's the 3rd of July. You know, of course, what the Mara is. You know what I'm saying? Got the fireworks going on, and because they was already busting them joints off late last night. It was like, what? Who the hell is up this late? But hey, hey, when you start turning down the corner, man, shit, 10 o'clock is late. You know what I'm saying? Man, 8 o'clock is late. Man, please. But nevertheless, I hope the city, I hope they do get a grip on this city. You know, I think about, what I think about when I think about this? I think about Frank Milton. I really do. I think about Frank Milton and his effectiveness that he perpetuated. You know what I'm saying? I really think about him. He had that command center. He had a rolling command center, and he didn't. And he had crew. And he had a crew of cops behind him. He had a crew of cops behind him. And wherever you saw that command center, he was everywhere. Everywhere. I don't know what he had up in that command center. He had a bed up in there. He could have been sleeping, everything or whatever. But I'm quite sure it probably was. But because people gonna want to be comfortable in like something like that. But I just think about Frank Milton and the effectiveness. I think about. I'm sorry to say it, and look, many of y'all probably gonna turn your nose up at me, but I think about Rudolph Giuliani in New York. I was living in New York when he was mayor. Jokers say whatever they want to say about Giuliani and Donald Trump and how in their alliances that they have, him being his attorney and all that kind of mess. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about my experience when Rudolph Giuliani was mayor in New York City. He was very, very effective. He was very effective. You may have not liked what he did, but that's good. That's for me. That's a good thing as an older man, understanding what he did. Because if you're in a routine of doing something and it's wrong, or it's not gonna say so much wrong, but it's time for a change, then changes need to be made. And I think that was the problem with our people, especially black folks up there at the time, because we were so used to the way Harlem was moving. Harlem was moving a certain way. When he became mayor, he cut a lot of that stuff down. He shut a lot of stuff off. He stopped a lot of things. The way the Italian cartel, not cartel, but Costa Nostra and the way they was moving on those docks, he shut a lot of stuff. He shut a lot of that stuff down. My point is the effectiveness is what's needed down here in the city of Jackson. The effectiveness. If this is proven to be effective, keep going. Keep going. Keep the pressure. Because I'm gonna tell you something. You ain't gonna stop it. You can't stop crime ever. Hey, we all know that. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a presence about yourself and a demeanor that you ain't gonna take no mess, you'll slow it down. Folks will think twice. Because I can guarantee you this. Let me say this. And I'm going to land my plane about Rudolph Giuliani. I'm going to say this about Giuliani. I'm going to land my plane. When Rudolph Giuliani, and I can't think who that fellow was, but when they came up with that RICO, that shut a lot of stuff down. When they made stiffer penalties for people, shut a lot of stuff. That shut a lot of stuff down. It did. It shut a lot of. You don't have a high profile. You don't have a high profile mob guy like John Gotti. John Gotti was the last. He was the last high profile mob guy. Castellanos assassination was like the last major assassination that happened in New York. It happened happened that everybody knew about. You know what I'm saying? Because of the stiffer penalties that was put in place in the city. Man, shut a lot of stuff down. Folks went underground. Get off the radar. And see, that's the problem with the city of Jackson. The city of Jackson, I'm going to tell you what the major problem is. The major problem with the city of Jackson is that you don't have stiffer penalties. When these jokers go out here and they commit these heinous crimes. If you kick a door in, that right there in itself, invasion in itself should carry something. Period. Heavy fine. Off the rip. Heavy fine. When you start doing stuff like that, putting RICO, like Giuliani put RICOs on people, man, that stopped a lot of stuff, man. Folks didn't want that. They ain't want that headache. The only thing that Jackson got right now at this point is bonds. They setting these cats bonds high. You know, $1 million. Where say they gotta pay $100,000 in order to make it. You know what I'm saying? No. Man, bump that. Bump that. Come up with these charges. The bonds is cool, don't get me wrong. But if you get a charge, someone gonna charge you with a charge, bro, you be like, man, and what it carries, and what that charge carries, man, folks gonna think twice before they do it. How about that? You like that one resident? Because that's what it's gonna take. I know it's not gonna happen overnight. I understand that. And I'm not, look, let me tell you something, I ain't with that wishful thinking shit. I'm not with the wishful thinking. But something has to be done. And at this point, the way things has been moving, I'm glad efforts is being made on everybody's part. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? But like I said last night, and I stand 10 toes down, these businesses needs to be involved. If Mayor John Horn made a statement, he was talking to the residents about people having events and being the tone setters to those events. How you should be involved in the de-escalation part if you see something is about to happen in your event, at your venue. Got that. But what about these businesses? Mr. Mayor, what about these businesses, man? Let's come on, let's talk about it, bro. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about this. You gotta set the tone, set the tone for these businesses. This is your city. This is your city. These brick and mortars, they get away with murder. They get away with murder. They come on the news. They talk about what they would like to see happen with the law enforcement. These folks are human. They got families of their own. They can't be out here all night trying to hold up the city. Come on. This is a joint effort. I'm telling you, the businesses got to get involved. Like I said before, what about What about a business improvement district? Man, if you come up with an organization like that, somebody will probably grant you funds for it. Let me tell you something. Did you know? Look, let me say this. I'm gonna say this. I don't wanna. I'm gonna digress for a minute, but I'm gonna say, did you know this? That Fondren receives grant money because of their historic reputation. They receive grant money. Why can't South and West Jackson and Southwest Jackson get do something to where they can, you know what I'm saying, secure grant funds for their communities? And I'm thinking in my mind, if you put a business improvement district here, I mean, why not? I'm quite sure there would be grant funds for it. It's worth checking out. All you grant writers and stuff, look it up. Look it up. Go look it up. Go look it up. I might look it up myself. Because like I said, we gotta get we gotta get funds. We gotta get some type of funds generated. See, if the businesses can get these grant funds, well, let me say this: if the city can get these grant funds, and the businesses can add on to it, right? And you can get a team of people. Number one, that's going to provide jobs because you're going to have people that's going to be able to clean up the area where the zones going to be located, and then you're going to have security personnel there that's going to be um, patrolling the area. Deterrence is what's needed. But see, in here in Mississippi, we can't walk up and down. They can't walk up and down the streets like in certain places like New York and Chicago, places like that. They can't walk up and down the street. So what I say is, they need to put armed security armed security in those local businesses. That's going to create the deterrence, right along with the cameras. All these types of ring doorbell cameras and all this stuff. Man, you put a person there, an armed guard there, not a police officer, but a guard. Get one of these reputable companies like Wagon Hut. And I mean, put them in place. This is what y'all gonna do over here, and that's gonna help. That's gonna help everybody. I'm telling you, the more security you got, the better you gonna be. In a town like this, come on, man. It's an insult to the police department. That's it. I'm just gonna take the gloves off today, and I'm gonna tell you straight up. This is just my opinion, and I'm gonna tell you what's happening. It's an insult for the Jackson Police Department for Dr. Brackney to have a 24-hour task force on deterrent so they can get this crime under control when it should have been in place from the beginning. We should have all these measures in place in the very stinking beginning. But no, you residents want to hire a jerk like Lumumba, and he defunded the police. Man, justice is gonna roll. Like I said last night, let justice roll like a mighty stream. That's all I got to say about that. Let justice roll like a mighty stream. You think someone is good, someone that talks good, they good. Mm-mm. Now don't get me wrong. Lumumba Sr. was a good guy. May peace be upon him. But his son was a tyrant. He wasn't a very good guy. He was not a very good guy. And that's not what I said. That's what the street said. I don't just hold up in my house. That ain't what I said. That's what the street said. He was not a very good guy. I mean, I've heard massive stories about this guy. But you elected him. I did not vote that year. I did not vote him on at the time he was mayor. Because I knew how he was moving. I knew how he was moving. You know what I'm saying? Nope. But I'm gonna tell you something. You gotta. But the milk has been spilled, so let's clean it up. He defunded the police. The police is now back on track. Well, my problem is this: we should have not been taking monies from other areas that's needed to fund that police to fund the police. See, that's problematic for me. Man, that's all that's problematic for me is whack. It's problematic. Because when you take something from somewhere else, that's going to suffer. Because it's not going to operate at its full capacity. Can you endure that? That remains to be seen. It remains to be seen on where the funds is going to come from. What they're gonna take the funds from. You know what I'm saying? The city's already crippling. Like the mayor said, we're already strapped for cash. So come on, what's cracking? We got this. We got the water. We got a water crisis. Well, legal crisis going on here, where the state want to take over. We got the Jackson Mega Everwally Airport. They want to take that over. That's in court, finna be deliberated by a judge. He's sitting on it. Where's the funds gonna come from? See, those where our funds are. Those is I'm gonna harp on this until the cows come home. Those is where our funds are. Those is why is you crippling the city? Why are you crippling the city? And then you got folks from other places. So, well, this is just the reason why the state needs to take over. Man, please. How the state gonna take over and you didn't cripple the city? Why would the state want? I mean, the state crippled it just by creating this mess. Tying shit up. By tying this mess up. Because the state didn't want to have anything to do with that water when that water thing went down. That's why the federal government got it. They didn't want nothing to do with it. Now they got some grant funds. They got some grant funds or whatever to help fix the infrastructure. Now they want to come up with a 9-member board. Man, like the old folks say, it don't sit right with me. And it ain't gonna sit right with me. Not today. Not today. It never did sit right with me. Once I investigated, once I did my research, And because I never understood about the airport. I knew it was something, but I couldn't quite remember exactly what it was. But when I saw that they was trying to do the same thing with that airport, like they doing with the water, I said they trying to take it over. The state trying to take over the city's resources. Those are the resources. That's why the city's strapped for cash. They are on freaking crutches. And they limping. Remember I was talking about earlier about how John Horn done turned his bus around? Now the bus got two flat tires. And it's limping. It's on two flat tires. With no spare. And we're stuck on the side of the road. And we're waiting for a spare tire. We're in the right direction, but we're just waiting on our spare tires. Come on, man. Sucks. But nevertheless, I land my plane on that. You know what I'm saying? For real. I land my plane on that. You know, so I mean, I'm like, man, what else is gonna be next here in the city? You know? What else is gonna be next in the city? Yeah, I hear cats shoot I hear shots being fired on the governor, you know what I'm saying? I hear shots fired about this, that, whatever, but I'll tell you something. What I mean by shots fired, you know what that means. You know, people harking on it, you know what I'm saying, about what happened, this, that, whatever. Man, look, we got a city though. We got a city to protect. We have a city to protect. We got the residents, us residents needs to be protected. We got to protect each other. So, but nevertheless, like I said, I'm this weekend. I'm gonna kind of hang tight, whatever. You know, probably I don't know. I might cook something or whatever. But that's pretty much all I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna just hang tight. Cause like I said, I just hated that we had to come to something like this because something didn't happen. And something should have already been in place. Well, that's it for me. I want to thank you for watching. Click like and share. Please share this video out. Oh, and subscribe. Please subscribe to the video. You know what I'm saying? This is for Jackson, man. This is 601 Network. This is for us. Us Jacksonians. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout out to the Orchid Bed and Breakfast. Shout out to Stamp Burgers. You know what I'm saying? And I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.